Hey, we're bringing a little bit of big and tall into your life today. Welcome to the Big and Tall Show, a podcast created to help you live your life as a servant to the Lord Jesus Christ. Your hosts, Mark, who is big, and Tom, who is tall, will be bringing their usual wit and wisdom today. I guarantee you will walk a little bigger and a little taller after today's episode of the Big and Tall Show. Take it away, Mark.
All right, Tom, we're back, the Big and Tall podcast. We're here at another week, and we're thankful that we have some listeners, and I hope everybody's having a good week out there. And, I want to say, and we said this the first time, but we really appreciate Jay Webb for his intro and his exit, the voice. He has an awesome voice, and he does a good job, and he helps us out, and we really appreciate him.
Absolutely. I echo that 100%. So welcome everyone. And I tell you what, we have a lot of positive feedback from our first 4 episodes. And now that we have it not only on Spotify, but also on Apple Podcast, and now even on YouTube, I know that's been very helpful for a lot of people, being able to just click a YouTube link and not having to download any apps or anything like that. And so I know that's been very helpful for a lot of people that have expressed that to me. Hey, Jay Webb's voice and oh man, but what a lot of people, of course, if they don't know Jay, they don't know his character and who he is and his family, just amazing people, and just proud to have Jay helping us out along this. And hope you're having a good week, Mark.
I am. We're having a good week, and it's been a busy week. A lot of church stuff going on, and with different families, and everything is doing good. Having a good week. How about you? Yeah,
absolutely. And Mark, this is for me outside of spending time with my family. Paige and Parker and I, are one of our favorite things to do in this world is to be out on that boat, be in the Gulf of America, and enjoying the beautiful sunrises and the dolphins that come say hi to you. But other than that, from a worldly standpoint, and I'm not talking about being with the brethren and singing praises to God and encouraging each other, but from a worldly standpoint, maybe one of my favorite things in this whole wide world is the NCAA basketball tournament, which starts this week. And I was telling you before we started the podcast, I believe this is somewhere close to year 20 that I've been getting together with a couple of friends, Will and Corey, and we've had some guys join us, come in the group and out of the group, but we've been doing this, I believe, for 20 years. We're on the Thursday and Friday of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. We take off work, we go to the lake, we watch basketball, we eat ribs, we eat steaks and wings, and just nothing but basketball for 2 straight days. And for a former basketball guy, man, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a basketball guy. I mean, this is your sport. This is what you really devoted a big portion of your life to playing basketball, to coaching basketball, and I would imagine this is a big time of the year for you.
It is, and I'll tell you what, the fact that my Duke Blue Devils are having such a great year and the number 1 seed in the East, that doesn't hurt. It's just, man, what a great time. We love it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and you're talking basketball. Let me tell you something that I did today, and then we'll get into our theme. I know people probably don't want to hear the ins and outs of our life, but let me tell you what I did today very quickly. Rachel, my wife, is a pre-K teacher, and it was farm day today at the pre-K, so I agreed to load up our goats and a few of our chickens and take them to the pre-K, and so I worked on that this morning. I was up. It was around 6 or 6:30, and I was out catching chickens. Believe it or not,
Mark, I had no idea you have goats and chickens.
I do.
That's
and
awesome.
then let me tell you this. several of our goats were pregnant, and we knew that, but we didn't think it was time. But I think the excitement of the kid, there were 50 kids plus that came through and fed the goats, and they petted the goats and screaming. You know how, I mean, they were just sort of wild.
Mark, please tell me you had a goat give birth at the pre-K.
When it got home, the goat, it went into labor, and I was like, man, that's, it couldn't handle the stress of the day. And so we've got a new baby goat. Her name is Pepper, and we try to stick with the food theme for all of our goat names. And but anyway, that'll be it. Let's do another show. I've got a lot to tell about.
I bet you do.
My goats and
goats and chickens.
and
I
chickens.
did not know. Well, you're in possession of a prized commodity with chickens and eggs.
We're getting about a dozen eggs a day.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, I know. They're like gold, So.
That is awesome. Well, Mark, what's our theme for this week?
Yeah, let's get into our theme, and I want to talk about getting rid of the clutter in our lives. And I guess the reason that this came up this week, every 2 months in our town, I live in Grant, Alabama, and we don't have a county or a city dump or a county, a garbage place that you would go and take stuff if you needed to. I think we have one in the county, but it's way off, and it costs a lot of money just to take, a few items. And so our town, every 2 months, they bring dumpsters to what they call the county shed, and the county commissioner has helped with this, but we can take all of our stuff every 2 months, and they'll, whatever it is, metal or garbage or wood or whatever, they'll take it, they'll put it in the appropriate dumpster, and they'll take it to where it needs to be. And so I did that. I was up early Monday, and actually over the weekend, I loaded my truck down with stuff. I mean, just junk, old, appliances, you name it, and I had it. And every 2 months, I can get a load of junk from around my house and in my garage. And I thought, we have so much clutter. We have so much stuff that we can throw away, that we need to throw away. And I don't think I'm, alone in this. I mean,
no, you are not.
No, our closets are full of stuff. Our attics are full of stuff. Our garages are full of stuff. I mean, as I drive around, even in a small town, and I know in large towns because I see it also, but storage units, these storage places are going up everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's a booming business because we have too much stuff. And, there comes a time when we need to, I think there's a business, chunk the junk, Yeah. We need to clean house, and get it all out. And so that's sort of what I want to talk about today is this idea, not material things necessarily that we need to clean up, but more of our hearts, our minds, whatever's in our spiritual life that is sort of weighing us down that we don't need. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah, Mark, that is something that you bring up great points in your introduction, your analogy of just how much stuff we have. That you hit the nail on the head. We have so many things. Moving away from the literal, but to the figurative there. Yeah, we have so many things that clutter our lives, that pull our attention in the wrong way. And, we've had in our adult Bible class on Sunday mornings, our young adults class, we've even had discussions about, when is the best time to spend time in prayer and spend time in studying God's Word? Because, man, we are all so busy. and not only busy
Right.
with our activities, and these are great, wholesome activities with our families, but it gets to a point where we don't have time, or we don't make the right time. We don't devote the right amount of time to doing the things that we need to be doing.
Yeah, yeah. We get, and I don't think me and you are any different than anybody else. But I know for myself, my weeks and my days get so busy and so full of, and it's, of course I'm a minister, I'm a preacher, and a lot of it has to do with church work and with ministry. But then I look at sort of, my downtime when I'm not, studying for a lesson or visiting or having a Bible study or whatever I've got to do that day. When I get finished with my job, I guess that's what, I know that's what it is, but it's a ministry. But when I get finished with that, my calendar's still full with other things, and a lot of those things, I wouldn't say a lot. Some of those things, I need to to cast off. I need to mark them off of my calendar and say, I'm wasting so much time that I could be doing other things, better things with my time, and I think all of us are that way.
Yeah. And Mark, the phrase there that really stuck out to me that you said is cast off. And that leads perfectly into the verse that you chose for us to spend a little bit of time in this week. In Hebrews chapter 12, beginning in the first verse, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. That laying aside the weight, that's casting aside things, and that like I said, your verbiage there, that phrase is just it's perfect. We do have to be willing to set things aside and to cast them aside and focus on what truly is important.
Well, and we've got to determine in our spiritual walk, in our spiritual journey, what are the things that are weighing us down? Lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us. And maybe it's not sin. I know this verse says, and the sin which ensnares us. Maybe it's not a sin, some of the things that we're doing, but at what point does it become a sin? Even though it's not a wrong thing that we're doing, at some point, if we devote too much of our energy and our time and our thoughts to it, I think it does become almost sinful in nature. And it could be anything. It could be a hobby. It could be, anything that distracts us from spiritual things, from things like prayer and Bible study and encouraging others, anything that is weighing us down and is ensnaring us and basically stealing our time. I think it could get to the point where, hey, that, it's becoming a sin. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well,
I think it could.
I agree with you. And perfect example, and I'm not saying this was a something that grew into sin, but what I am going to say is this morning is, I think, a perfect example. I got up, I had my coffee, I've got my Bible, and I'm ready to look over one of the minor prophets. We're planning to study this coming week in Bible class. And what did my brain automatically do? I'm a little bit behind on some work things. And so what did I do? I started thinking about work things. I started checking emails that I knew I needed to address today on some proposals and some things that we're working on. And it was just that easy that I got distracted. I got my head in the wrong place almost immediately. And it's so easy. It's so easy to let these things weigh us down and to keep us from our focus of where it needs to be.
It is, and you know, Tom, one thing that I like to do from time to time, and I guess I encourage everyone at some point during your week, look at your calendar. Just go back and look at your calendar. I don't know how people do calendars. I do mine on my phone. Everything that I'm going to do, I've got in my phone, because if I don't have a reminder set up, I will not remember. And so everything that I'm going to do, my phone reminds me, hey, you've got to do this. And it's work things, but it's also other activities with my family and whatever else is going on. But however you keep a track of your day, you know, look at what you're spending your time on. Look at how many minutes and hours you're spending on things that do not matter, and actually are not really helping you in your spiritual walk. And that could be, and I'll name some of them, and I think probably everybody that's listening knows exactly the first one that I'm going to say. And I guess you do too, Tom. And that's our cell phones.
Yep.
I mean, how many hours a day? And I'm not talking about just teenagers. I'm talking about adults. How many of us spend hours a day on our cell phones? And if it's not a cell phone, it's a tablet, or it's a computer screen, or a television. And I'm not, listen, I do it as well. But I try daily to say, hey, enough's enough. Lay this aside, as the verse says. Lay this aside, and let's do something that really matters, and that's not weighing us down.
Yeah, that is a great technique. And you're right. The cell phone is a horrible invention and a great invention all in one. That we can use it for positive, as with most all technology. But and we're not talking about the horrors of the deep embedded sin that can come from some of the things that phones can do.
Right.
We're just talking about, like you said, just emails and of course social media is such a big part of it, and the distractions of our phones, and man, just they can be so difficult to overcome.
It is, and Satan is the master at distracting us.
Oh yeah.
He is the master at turning our attention away from God, and away from prayer, and away from encouragement, and he turns it to something else, and that something else may not be sinful necessarily in nature. Like you said, a cell phone in and of itself is not sinful. A TV show is not sinful. I mean, if it's the right show. But if we let that, whatever it may be, a hobby, if we let that continuously pull us away from the Lord, then I believe it gets into that area where, we're what are we putting first in our lives? And so, the word declutter, let me give you the definition, means to remove things you do not need from a place in order to make it more pleasant and more useful. And so I guess as we sort of wrap up the show, Tom, as we do at the close of every show, one way that I think we can stand big and tall in our faith this week is to declutter our hearts, declutter our minds, remove the things, as the definition says, remove the things that we do not need, in order to make our hearts and our minds a more pleasant place and a more useful tool for God. And so I really think that sometimes we need to go and clean house in a spiritual way. We need to get the world out. We need to get more of God in. And I think as for me, that would help me especially, and I think it would everybody that's listening. Tom, as we close, how can we stand big and tall in our faith?
Well, Mark, in 1 John chapter 5, verse 4, for whatever is born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. You know, in a world with so many distractions, so many ways that doubt and evil and just distractions that can pull us away from God, the way we overcome that, the way we declutter, the way that we refocus is through our faith, in God, in Christ, and just showing that faith to others who are also more than likely struggling at some point in their life in the same thing. And just, I got so much going on. What do I need? You got to overcome the world, overcome the doubt, the distractions, the different ways that Satan is pulling us away from our focus on God, and just utilize our victory and our faith in God and Christ, and in our obedient faith unto God, and let that be our focus.
That's right. That's right. And we hope everybody has a good week. As we said in the past, and we'll continue to say, please like the podcast, the Big and Tall podcast, share it and pray for it. And Tom, I'll just close by, saying this. I don't know what everybody else has got going for the rest of the week, but here's what me and you've got going: basketball and baby goats.
There you go. Y'all have a great week. Thank you for listening.
Hard to beat.
Yeah.
All right. See you, everybody.
See you now.
If you have enjoyed today's episode of the Big and Tall Show, please tell your friends and make it easy by sharing the link to our show with them. If you haven't subscribed, this is the time to do just that. And on behalf of Tom and Mark, thank you for listening.